Get started now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. There's a storm coming. A firestorm. Get ready to raise your game because watching sports will never be the same. Introducing FireFan. It's a game changer. Finally, a sports app that puts you into the game. You predict the scores, you call the plays in real time while you watch and compete against sports heroes, celebrities, friends, family, or other die-hard fans. The more you call it, the more points you can achieve. Also, be a loyal fan and earn loyalty rewards. Don't miss the hottest app of the year, FireFan. Ignite your passion. Yeah! Yes, sir. Yeah. Register now at firefan.com today. Enter player rewards code TDSS. That's player rewards TDSS. Play the game, fan the fire, earn rewards. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. All right, so we are going to do FireFan tonight for the Colts and the New York Jets. Okay, so if you haven't signed up for FireFan for the league, man, make sure you do that. Go to firefan.com, use promo code TDSS, and join into the leagues. Once again, they are working out some bugs with the app. It's in the quote-unquote beta stage right now, but it's real cool. You can understand where they're going with this. So go to firefan.com and get into the league tonight. We'll send out an invite to everybody that's already played with us before in the Doug Stewart Show League. So that's FireFan tonight, Monday Night Football, Indianapolis Colts taking on the New York Jets. Also, we've already sent out the invites for the Doug Stewart Show Weekly Fantasy Challenge on DraftKings. We've already sent out the invite for this week coming up. Yeah. And so, looking at DraftKings from this past weekend, man, I think your boy might win a couple of dollars. Don't hate. Don't hate. Congratulate. And so I think I might win a couple of dollars. But we'll talk about the results of this past week in DraftKings on the show tomorrow and on the Doug Stewart Show Fantasy League. We always do that on Tuesday. But if you got an invite or if you played in a league before, you should have an invite in your inbox or in your spam folder. Speaking of spam folder, while I'm thinking of that, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, when you sign up to become a premium member for the Doug Stewart Show, they send you an email with details and a link where you can get into the space where the actual shows are going to be housed at. If you don't get that email, it's in your junk folder. It'll go to your spam folder, okay? So once again, once you sign up, you'll get an email. If you don't see it in your inbox, it is 100% in your spam folder. We did a couple of test runs, and, depending on your service, what email service you're using, it might go into your spam folder. But also, if you played in the DraftKings League before, we sent out invites this morning. And if you want to get in this week's league, you can email me. You've never done it before. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We'll send you an invite. $5 to get in. Top 5 get paid. 40 entrants into the contest. All right, that's on DraftKings. So, Dallas has since called up here a little while ago talking about these horrible losses that Michigan had or that Penn State had and why Ohio State should be in the playoffs and not Penn State. And he talked about the loss that they had to Michigan where they lost 49-10. They lost by 39 points, and that they lost to Pitt earlier in the year as well. That's one thing I will say about the losses that Penn State has. And once again, this is all nitpicking. You can point at whatever scenario, whatever thing, on whatever loss that a team had to make your argument. I totally understand that. Y'all need to understand that. What I would say about the two losses that Penn State had is, one, they were early in the season. Okay, and historically, whenever you lose early, it's much better than losing late. So these two games that they lost were two of their first 4 games of the year. Everybody's talked about the game that they lost to Michigan. They had all these defensive injuries as well. So they did get blown out by Michigan early in the year, 49-10. The loss to Pitt After we look at Pitt and what they did later in the year in beating Clemson, the loss to Pitt 42-39. They lost by 3 points on the road at Pitt. That wasn't that bad of a loss. Okay? Once again, you can pick it and say anything you want, but they lost to Pitt the second game of the year by 3 points on the road. The Pitt Panthers just beat Clemson a couple of weeks ago. So that loss isn't that bad. And when you talk about Ohio State barely got several of their wins this year. You know about the Michigan game. They won 30-27, barely winning that game. They skimmed by a punk-ass Michigan State team this year. They barely got by Michigan State 17-16. They barely got past Northwestern at home 24-20. They lost to Penn State. We all know that. They also barely got by Wisconsin 30-23. So they had a bunch of close games. And once again, you know, to finish off this conversation, oh yeah, they lost to Penn State. Okay? They lost to Penn State. Oh, well, they shouldn't have got their ass kicked by Michigan. Well, y'all shouldn't have had to struggle with Michigan State. Y'all shouldn't have had to struggle with some of these other teams, with some of these other teams, Minnesota and whatnot in your conference schedule. You know, y'all shouldn't have had to struggle, you know, against Northwestern. So it is what it is. 2 losses, 1 loss. You didn't beat the team that won the division in the Big Ten. You didn't, you know, beat the team that won the title for the Big Ten Conference as well. I don't want to hear it, man. At the end of the day, right is right. Right is right. You lost to Ohio State. You didn't win the conference. You shouldn't be in the damn playoffs. All you Ohio State busters. Because y'all know good and well y'all shouldn't be in these damn playoffs. And you know it. You know it, man. Come on. I mean, you can save that for somebody else. You'll listen to the Doug Stewart Show. But around here, we know it. And you know it. That y'all shouldn't have got a spot in that damn Final Four. Thomas Rawls ran for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. And my man Lockett took a reverse 75 yards for a score to open up the second half, and the Seahawks routed the Carolina Panthers 40-7 on Sunday night. The victory, though, was kind of bittersweet because Earl Thomas broke his leg. He is done for the year. I want to talk more about that in a second. But Cam Newton was suspended, or I guess kept out of the game for the first series in this game last night, if you saw it. He was kept out because of a dress code violation. They said Cam didn't wear a tie on the trip to Seattle. Really? Yeah, the Cam Newton has been wearing skinny jeans and clown shoes. And I mean, in all types of eccentric, I'm making this positive, all types of eccentric wear, he gets kept out of the game, held out of the game because he didn't wear a tie. And from what I understand, he had on a turtleneck. I had heard somewhere before that a turtleneck, he had on a turtleneck and a jacket. I had heard before that a turtleneck is just as, you know, as good or as the equivalent to wearing a shirt and tie. So that was a bad look. You know what happens. Derek Anderson comes in, man, throws a pick at the very beginning of the game, and that just started the ball rolling, man. And Carolina got their ass kicked last night tremendously by the Seattle Seahawks. One thing, I wanted to mention Earl Thomas, the loss of Earl Thomas for the year. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Earl Thomas, done for the year for the Seattle Seahawks. Rob Gronkowski, done for the year for the New England Patriots. You know how God works in mysterious ways? I think that these may be some type of signs, some type of indicators that this year we may see a Dallas Cowboy and Oakland Raiders Super Bowl. Yeah. Losing Earl Thomas is a huge thing. Not having Earl Thomas on that defense for Seattle. And not having Rob Gronkowski, you know what that means for the New England Patriots. That's big. You can't replace Rob Gronkowski. Now, Marcellus Bennett is a good player, but he's no Rob Gronkowski. He isn't. And so, like, they ripe for the picking. Like, if you're in the AFC, New England, they kind of struggled at times this year, and now they don't have Rob Gronkowski. And it might not be a better opportunity to get New England as this year. There might not ever be another opportunity in the Tom Brady era. So the Raiders might have a shot. And if you don't have Earl Thomas, who's like the coach on the field for the Seattle Seahawks, hard hitter, once again, like a coach in the field, they could be got as well. Well, easier before they did have Earl Thomas. So maybe the Dallas Cowboys, man, maybe the Lord, like they say, is working in mysterious ways. These are big losses. Huge losses. So we'll see. And I don't think the studio audience should applaud it on the fact that these cats are getting hurt. I think they're just speaking on the fact that this year we're probably not going to have, or the chances are more likely now that you'll have two other teams, especially for the AFC, who I can't stand, the damn New England Patriots. Y'all know that. Maybe you may have two new teams, two upstart teams that are, back, who have been down for many, many years. The Dallas Cowboys and New England and the Oakland Raiders, which that would be a bonanza for the NFL. I mean, if the NFL could get, one of the benchmark teams for the AFC to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, and the Oakland Raiders, and Lord knows they love Dallas anything, America's team to be in the Super Bowl, man, that's a good thing. That's what the studio audience was applauding. They weren't applauding the fact that, these cats got hurt. They're applauding the fact that you might see Raiders and Cowboys in the Super Bowl, a ratings bonanza. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll run through a couple of other games. And I don't think we can do bonus stew today, man. As it stands, it's called bonus stew now. But starting Wednesday, it's going to be normal. It's going to be 3 hours of the Doug Stewart Show, Monday through Friday, starting at 9 a.m. this Wednesday morning to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. But today, I don't think we can give you some bonus stew. Don't go away. Back in 3 minutes, the Doug Stewart Show. Doug Stewart here to tell you about my man Smooth at smoothtickets.com. Smooth's got the tickets for everything that you need in the world of sports, concerts, or theater. I don't care what it is. I don't care where it's at in this great land of ours. My man Smooth at smoothtickets.com, he got them tickets. I'm telling you, boxing, baseball, NBA, NFL, country music concerts, hard rock, hip-hop, theater, Broadway, he's got them all. And if he don't have them, there ain't none. I'm telling you, smoothtickets.com. Once again, that's smoothtickets.com, or give them a call at 404-374-1150. Once again, that's 404-374-1150. You gotta tell them, though, that I sent you. You gotta tell them that Doug Stewart sent you. Once again, smoothtickets.com. That's smoothtickets.com. Yeah!
The Sleeper Pick, the guy only you believe in. In 1 week fantasy football on DraftKings, he can be the difference. So trust your gut. Trust your numbers. Trust your Uncle Vito if you want. But know this, that sleeper is out there. The question is, who's going to play him? This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time.
To create your account, click on the banner link on the DougStewartShow.com or the Doug Stewart Show app. There's a storm coming. A firestorm. Get ready to raise your game because